this is Dennis Hagov and our electrotransport store UC.sale. So today I wanna talk about the veteran LeaperKim LYNX, my second part of a review after I was ridden more with a wheel, because as you all know what the main problem, we deliver new wheels to the market in the December and in the winter, so the condition in Lithuania where I'm living and where are our main office are not so good for the winter season. Very cold, a lot of snow, rain and so on. So I was not able, to test it more. So anyway, I was kept one wheel for me for the riding in this season 2024, and definitely now when I was riding more when the 200, maybe now about 400 kilometers I ride overall, so I made my better understanding about that wheel, and definitely I decide what I need to talk about that with you, to share my opinion, to help you to understand the links. And I hope these moments I will talk about what I was like it or dislike it with this wheel will help you to decide what wheel you need, and you will be prepared for the wheel. When you will receive it, you will understand what I was talking about, and for me it will be clear what I was saying all quite honestly here. So anyway, let's start to talk about the LeaperKim LYNX. And first of all, yes, I wanted to say what the second one season the LeaperKim products. So last year was Patton, the year before was Sherman-S, and now it is a LYNX. So it is a bestseller wheels in the UC market, most selling one in Europe. I cannot talk about the United States or other countries in our world, but regarding the overall sellings in Europe, in all our communities I know personally, so the LYNX is a best-selling one wheel now, and many of them sold and many people are riding, and we can understand by statistic what these wheels are capable to ride in every condition, extreme condition, high speed, and gets all these damages, and some people get crushed and so on. So anyway, the wheels are strong compared to our competitors on the market, where the dealers has small quantities of sales. So we just need to understand that this one too are not exactly comparable here, because a lot of Pattons, a lot of LYNX are riding now on Europe market. So anyway, let's return to the LYNX, and first of all I want to speak about all this stuff, ergonomics and so on. So as you can see, firstly from the box I was changed the tire, and tire you see here is a Shinko 244, I think. Yes, it is a Shinko tire where the dimension is 2.75 on 14 inch rim. It is motorcycle tire dimension. And I know when I was firstly posted some photos in the public groups in Facebook, so people was excited what I was fitting this tire, because there was some rumors that this tire not exactly fits the LYNX and you need to cut these borders of a tire to fit it. But for me it was working perfectly. As you can see, I do nothing, I just precisely installed the tire to the rim and all this rim to the body. So you can see I have here not so many free room, but anyway the tire spinning and not hit the mudguard, and all works fine here. So in my opinion, if you're hitting some borders when something wrong with the installation of a rim to the whole body and so on. So if you're capable to install it precisely in the place, in the middle, in the center, so you will not have such a problem. So as you can see, all here are fine. So I was changing the tire immediately. I take out the wheel from the box, and this is the important moment. because I wanted the mixed-rided tire. I wanted to feel comfortable on the fast speed, do good cornerings, and the Shinko gives that possibility because of the roundness of the tire. You can go, cornering very precisely, and this gives you a feeling of a good riding here. And second one that we have here, the hard knobbies, and it's also very good on the off-road, on the muddy roads and so on. So in my opinion, for the such 20-inch diameter wheels, this is, in my opinion, this is the best choice, to have it mixed riding style wheel, because the LYNX is meant to be the mixed, the wheel are mixed between the fast riding and hard off-road riding, as I understand in my own understanding. So this one, yes, the first update I was done from the box, and I was also installed with standard. It's not original parts, but seems like now all these parts calling original, but with a different factory are making these parts, but they meant to be for the patterns, Shermanes and LYNX mostly here, because even you have the Velcro, special, Velcro with one side, so to the wheel with all these cutted, holes for the bolts and so on, just to install it easily here. So in my opinion, this one parts are really great, doing good job and quite cheap in the market. So for me personally, I see no point to buy, very big and expensive parts here. I don't know. Maybe I don't perform such a tricks, or maybe I don't have such a needs, to have the parts better when I have here. As you know, I also was using the parts from Russia. This is like lever parts, and the middle side here, middle part between the power part was soft, soft material like the porcelain, coated with leather for the better comfort here. But I was trying to put it here with pads, but I feel that this is not comfortable to ride because the wheels are tall, and when you stay on the pedals you feel like your legs are going around the pads and around the wheel, so it is not comfortable for the legs, to stay like that on the wheel. So I was removed this part. So, and as I understand that for such a tall height wheel, here to have something soft on the middle for the legs are just made not possible for such a wheel, even with my height of 1 meter and 85 centimeters. So anyway, this is the moments when I understand, when I started to ride with this wheel. Another one moment regarding ergonomics, all feels here fine. Only the two small moments. The first one is power on button, because this is not a first batch wheel wherever. It is we received this wheel in the March, I think. So it is not even the second one batch, but anyway we had the problem with a power on button. So if you are push on the middle of a button or on the end, on the corner of a button, so the buttons are going in deeply inside, wheel are power on, but the button not going automatically back, so it stays pressed, stays push it inside. So when you start riding, we will start beeping and cut it off. So be careful, be prepared, try to understand what your button and your links are working fine. Anyway, the LeaperKim sent us all the box with top panels to change that buttons, but I still don't change it because I know how to push it and have no time really to change it. But anyway, so we fixed that problem, and in the future batches we might not see that problem at all. But anyway, if you have links, keep it in mind that in some moments your button could not work, pushing it back, so you can start riding. The wheel start beeping and may cut off because the wheel are feeling that you're pushing the button to power off the wheel. So this moment important. And another one moment is regarding the trolley handle. So the trolley handle from the box are going quite precisely and have the minimal, lifts from the side to side, but when the holes are getting dust and mud and sand, so it starts going up and down very hardly, and really I don't even know how to fix that. Maybe I will use some motorcycle dry oil, for the chain to make it's going a little bit better, but in some moments I feel like the handle don't want to go, I need to push it very hardly here. So the moment you need to know also that in some cases, some solutions are not so great. They're trying to fix, for example, this handle not to be, going from side to side, but in another way we have another problems here. One more moment regarding the mud. So I don't think what the tire can, if we will compare the original Kenda Knobi tire to the Shinko, so I don't think that the tire can change that situation, but overall all the mud from the tire are going on these sides here and here and here, and also of course on the legs here. So the main problem that the front side of the wheel are always not clean, like you can see it on the pictures, and you need, if you are a guy like me and I like to have my wheel clean before ride, I like when the wheel stays in the good condition. So this is my position, how I like it. So for me it's quite hard, to keep it always in the clean position, in the clean state here. So, and another moment what we have a lot of stuff here, like the plastic, all these plastics are going, forms, and we have a lot of room where all this mud are coming, and I cannot just easily, like on the one panel just clean it, I need to sit and clean it, and when I'm going riding and I see of one day of riding it's still all of mud, and I still need to sit and spend a lot of time to clean all this front side. So I didn't like it, and my legs, my boots are also not clean. So here making the better dust improvement, like covering with this one part, for me would be better one, and to have that like the one finished panel, not a lot of all these rooms here, while all this dust are going. But anyway, this is the small moment, but I needed to talk about that. But this was, for me, was a little bit annoying, when I see the wheel or a lot of, mud, and I need to clean it. Anyway, this is not so important part, and overall, all seems to be fine here. So let's speak about my riding experience, and this part will be more interesting to listen to you. So first of all, when I was start riding normally with my wheel, and I keep for me 66 lbs suspension, 50S batteries to check it, because a lot of information here, all forums, all groups was blowing, when the 50S batteries come to the market, and definitely I am also wanted to test them personally, to have my own opinion how it looks and how the battery packs behave in real life. So let's start by first one moment when I was starting riding. So I was when I was starting riding fastly, my first day of one full day of riding, I met the first problem, and the first problem was that the pedals, foot plates are too high from the ground, and this high position of the pedal almost on the middle, of the axle, middle of the motor, gives you from the one side good performance on the off-road. You are possible, you know, to control the wheel. You will not hit the ground and obstacles with the pedals. Or for the sporty riders, it is really good solution. For the hard off-road, also for the jumps, it is good solution. But for the casual riding and for the speedy riding, it is worst solution. And I definitely also immediately get that, you know, uncomfortable behave and uncomfortable riding when my speed reached 60 kilometers and going up. And you know, every small wind, side wind blowing to me, and overall when the road are not so, you know, perfectly good condition of a road, so all these bumps, and I feel like we will start shaking and start wobbling. And even I was seeing that Chuch also get his wobbles and get crashed, and this is also about that stability, because if we will compare with a Patton smaller one wheel, smaller one pedals, smaller one with height from the ground to the pedals, and for the Patton and for the speed till 60 it was okay for the Patton, but for the LYNX 20-inch fast speed wheel it is not okay. And definitely I don't know why the LeaperKim don't making all these side panels, you know, in the two positions, like they added to the box, you know, sporty one for the off-road and 2 centimeters less, you know, for the normal riding, for the speedy riding and so on. So I think it is not such a big problem for the factory to make that and add it to the box, you know. But as I said, for the speedy rides I understand, after a few days I understand, but I cannot live with that wheel with such a high pedals, you know, from the ground. It is not comfortable, not stable, and I don't get my fun when I'm riding fastly here. So even when I start to accelerate, so I am pushing the wheel and I feel like the wheel want to go, you know, somewhere on the side, you know, because the pedals are too high and I'm pushing it with my knees. So, and I feel like the wheel are not stable and trying to, you know, to go somewhere but not straight. So very important moment. So what I was doing, so from the China, same factory, but I don't know if it is same factory, but the same guys, same company are selling these pads, was also providing us with lower pedal, lower position with set of, you know, you can see on photos it is shiny, almost gold color. I don't like it, so thanks God I have a professional, you know, paint laboratory here on my stairs, so I was painted it in the black, matte black. So now the wheel are looking better, because, you know, have here the gold plate. I don't know, not for me guys, not for me to having all this gold here on the such black wheel. Anyway, I was painted and I was put them here. The price is about 100 euros I think, and I think we will make the batch order for them, because for the guys who are riding casually a lot in the city rides and so on, fast rides, this must be done to have better performance and better stability, and you don't lose, you know, the pedals are not so, you know, low, even not so low, and it's still normal for the riding off-road and so on. So for me it is very strange, but the LeaperKim do not do that, you know, from the factory when they was tested that wheel on the high speed. So for me, I understand what they are not riding on the high speed at all. They are more riding off-road and testing off-roadly, but not riding on the high speed, because who ride on the high speed know what I'm talking about here regarding these pedals and regarding this set of lower pedals. So this is this fix that moment. And but I had with that I also had another problem, and another problem is this original jump pads, because when I was put it in the lower position I still not able normally to reach my boots with pads here, and I cannot do nothing here. My legs, my foot size is 43 Europe standard, 43, not so big, and I'm using usually in the summer. I'm usually using, you know, not always big travel boots, but I'm going with sneakers like the Adidas and so on. So for me, still here are a lot of room for the legs. And now I have the problem that I need to order another with Spark jump pad. And I saw that solutions on the market, but now some guys are 3D printed the bigger one, because I am also need not only taller one to fit here normally, but I am also need wider one, because another one problem is now here this dimension from the up to here to the pedals get bigger, and all my legs going, you know, deeply going, and now this one dimension, this one wide are not enough for me for the legs. I need to push the legs like that to keep that wheel, you know, to keep them to jump. So it is not so comfortable, because these wheels are very big and quite wide here. I was speaking about the pads also. So this problem, when I was lowered the pedals, makes this problem worse for me to use that wheel, and I feel like all this stuff, you know, in here in the up position are really wide for me. And the second one moment here, so what I feel that wideness, and I feel like the wheel are now really huge for me. So I am riding, and when I'm trying to ride slowly in the city, you know, where we have a lot of people, I usually, you know, and I think you usually not, you know, leaning on the speed 3-4 kilometers per hour, leaning with a wheel, you know, you try to operate the wheel between your legs from one leg to another. You just, you know, making the cornering of a wheel between the leg and manipulating, you know, to get all this, you know, all this riding style. So now when we have such a tall wheel with all these pedals going low, it is very hard to manipulate with a wheel because of the weight and because it is very tall now between the legs. So normally, you know, you're trying to manipulate and you immediately feel like the wheel pushing you with your legs, you know, on the side. So for you, only one moment to lean together with a wheel, you know, to make the cornering even with a low speed. So this is also I found not comfortable. So, you know, from the one side I tried to solve a stability problem, but from another side I meet a lot of another problems I need to solve now. So I don't know how to solve that, because I cannot, you know, change the dimension of the wheel here, and understand that this is not so, not impossible to solve, but from another side not so comfortable to operate on the low speed in the city, you know, in the hard traffic and so on. For the high speed, not a problem. For the going, you know, somewhere on the off-road, also not a problem. But for the city commuting, riding, you know, on the low speed, yes, maneuverability are now worse than it was before, and comparable to the pattern here are clearly winner, because when I was taking the pattern from the box, I don't needed to do something with a wheel, and with a LYNX I see like I starting to upgrade it, and I found with new problems I need to solve one by another, you know, like that, something like that. So this is regarding the ergonomics of a wheel. So I am not excited about the ergonomics, and I really understand that from the one side the LYNX is meant to be my wheel, because it is 20-inch, 151 volt, and the bigger battery compared to the pattern I was riding all year ago, all season. But for the pattern I feel like for me it was more nimble, more friendly city, more friendly off-roading, and overall like the product it was better for me, and I understand that. So okay, let's talk about now about the power. I want to speak about the power here, and from the one side yes, you have 151 volt here, bigger battery. I have packs 15S, all guys around are so love it, and the power should be better here. Of course we have bigger diameter compared to the pattern, but overall all these power plant are more powerful compared to the pattern. But the pattern for sure are going faster from the zero, and this permanent torque the pattern provides, you know, when you're going off-road or you're going city riding and so on, this momentum power, you can just easily operate it from the 0 till the 50, and of course after the 50 kilometers pattern are not going so well and start resisting, and you understand what the overall system with a motor and with batteries are going on the limits, and you can ride 60-65. I was able to run 67, but you feel that this is not comfortable speed for such a wheel. From another side we have the LYNX, which are meant to be fast one, and it is going fastly. Yes, I was able to run over the 70, 73 or 74 maximum my speed was, because I was still testing with all these, you know, updates and so on. So I am not that guy who, you know, blows from the 0 to the cutoff, you know, immediately from the box when I receive it. So I am just trying to understand, to test it, to learn and so on, to keep all these moments, you know, to be prepared for that wheel. But overall, so as I was saying, what the pattern was meant to go fastly and easily, you know, from the 0. This one not going like that, and you need to push it from the 0. Yes, it is produce your power, no problem, but you need to push it. It is not so easy to ride with a LYNX. And the situation get better from the speed 30 till 50, and I feel that, you know, that power a little bit, not so, you know, like it is brings me, you know, waterfall of power or wave, big wave, you know, tsunami of power, not like that. I feel like it is easy to ride 30-50, but after the 50 kilometers till 60-70, I feel like I still need to push it with all my bodies to these pads, going lean forward, you know, and push it to reach 70, even 70 kilometers per hour. And understand what this wheel from one side has power because it is running stably on the 70. And I feel like the overall, as I said, power plant gives that power to ride safely, the wheel stable, the pedals hard, you know, no all this, you know, leaning on the bumps and so on, staying stable, but don't want to go easily. And even when I going on the acceleration and I am riding, I'm pushing 70, 73, and little bit, you know, I stop a little bit accelerating and I feel immediately the speed are going down. 60, 50 until 50, I feel 50, 55, I feel that I'm able, you know, to ride normally. I'm pushing little bit 50, pushing little more 55, but to go 65 I need to push with all my legs, with all this power to acceleration. And you know, for the long riding it is not comfortable. You need to understand who watching me now and riding a lot on the high speed understand me what I am talking about. But it is not comfortable to lean, you know, and push it the wheel to go fast, you know. You need to reach that speed and go normally, but not pushing it like that. And even I can honestly say that Bigodi AX30 was better here on the high speed, 134 volt. This motor, Bigodi new motor C40, was performing better on the high speed compared to the LYNX. This is only my, you know, opinion, but it was so much more easier to reach that speed and to going that speed. And I am talking about the Master Pro with this big giant wheel with a batteries was meant to go 50 plus 70. You can just going, you know, and smoking and drinking, I don't know. And you're going 70, you don't think about that. You're just going, you know. So for the LYNX the story completely different. And even when I was changed we lowered the pedal, so I was thinking that I will solve two problems. The first one problem I will solve the stability, and the second one problem I will solve that, you know, because I will give more you know, more diameter, you know, to push the wheel, because if the pedal is going lower, you have a bigger possibility to push the wheel. It's more easier to you to push that. But the second one part was not solved, and this not helps for the wheel for accelerating and not help for the braking. And I deeply understanding that the main problem this is the algorithms of the wheel, firmware of the wheel. So something are like blocking that power, and I don't know how we will fix that in the future, or overall we will do here something or not. And I will answer your question. Yes, I was power on the Always Fast mode, same day, same moment when I was put the wheel from the box and made all the adjustment for the wheel. So I was power on the mode. All here okay, the wheel are working on the maximum power, and the batteries here we have a 50S, the greatest batteries according to the Always forum and group warriors and so on. And the second one part about the batteries here. So idea, when I was tested the speed 70, 73, 74, when I start riding I had the -1 with how it is called. So I had always pads, I don't know how arrows on the bar, so -1 I had from the full charge. And when I was continuously going about 3 or 5 kilometers on the 70, 74, 65, I was tested that behavior. So I was seeing what I'm going 70 plus, and I see what I have only one with arrow left on the battery. When I was stopped, immediately I was trying to stop. I was stopped and I see like all these are going all way going back, you know, back where it was. -1, but all was going back. So in here I don't clearly understand. We have here 50S batteries meant to provide a lot of amps to keep the voltage. The idea to you know, to pay more for the 50S is just that idea. Don't have that, you know, suck here of the voltage when you're accelerating and going fast. But seems for me it is not working, because it is going exactly like the 50E model regular batteries are going, and I see exactly how all this voltage are dropping on the acceleration and braking. I don't want to test that borders of cutoff, you know, on the 75 with all my body, you know, on the 50E and 50S. I will do not do that, and don't, you know, right, you guys, this one I was able to cut off on 75, and 50S much better, I was cut off on 77. So, you know, it is pointless to measure it like that. But overall, I don't feel that this one has better power. I don't feel like the batteries are drying somewhere, you know, this sucker going with voltage dropping. All working for me same here, and this is only my opinion. You can keep your opinion, you can say whatever you want, but I riding with that wheel and I see that I have no difference for me here at all. But I understand that making the better firmware, better algorithms, maybe for the 50S batteries, and keep that wheel going more easily on the fast speed would be better solution here, but we don't have that at the moment. So I am speaking like it is now. So this is what was I wanted to speak about the batteries. And overall I was able to run 50 kilometers 50 aggressively from the 100%, from the 151 volts till so after the 50 kilometers I had the 126 volt remaining on the wheel, and I think one or two with, you know, with arrows still left on the wheel, but you need to understand that this is to the end, the wheel are going to end. So 50 kilometers, good riding. I understand that maybe 10 or 15 kilometers I would be able to reach till 65, maybe till 70, good performing riding, but not 90 and of course not 100. So still drives the same, the battery and normal range till the 60 for the such fast wheels and so on. So this is my opinion about that. And the final one moment I wanted to speak about suspension, and suspension here also has some moments. And firstly, I was not understanding the wheel when I start riding, because usually I'm doing for the such wheel, such suspension, like I was doing on the Patton, like I was doing on the Sherman S, and like I was doing all my life in the motorcycle. So I am pushing all the shocks to one side and compression and rebound to one side, and then after I am starting to calculate how much I clicks have from one side to another side, for example 10 clicks. So after that I am returning on the half compression, half rebound, and I know what these two meanings are center of the suspension. So this is like the beginner one point, start one point to start adjust my suspension to another side or another, to one side or another side. So here I was doing exactly the same I was doing, and I starting to ride, and I see that the wheel are soft and feel like the wheel are going soft on the small speed, and on the slow speed till 20, maybe even till 30, all seems working fine. But when I starting to go fastly, 35, 40, 45, 50, and I hit the obstacles, hit all these, asphalts and so on, rocks and trees, I feel like the wheel are reacting very strongly, and I feel like I have a very hard, suspension bumping, and like it is not working. It is like it is packing. So it is soft speed, kinetic energy are going up, and after the 30 kilometers I feel like wheels are hitting my legs, and I started to adjust it in one way, another way, and I was adjusted this longestly from the all wheel I was tested before. And I cannot understand why I am making, and the wheels like seems it is working very good, and all all this preload are normally I just set the preload for me, and the wheel are on 30% of travel was preloaded, and I start to adjusting, and the wheel seems like going good. But when the speeds are rising, I cannot do nothing, and the wheel, hard bumps, all I feel into my legs, and I was not able to understand that. And finally I got the conclusion, this is only my opinion, subjective opinion, but I got the conclusion that the idea to get the springs here, this one new generation shocks with как же называется это? With a progression spring here is not good, and I think that the main problem is this spring with a progression, and the progression in this spring are too big comparable to overall travel of a normal spring. You understand? The progression here too big, and seems like I'm going on the low speed. I'm using this interval, the suspension and suspension working. When the speed are rising, kinetic energy, so I need more travel of a suspension. And here I meet the progression, and this progression start working, and we will start working hardly here. And so idea that with a Sherman S, with a Patton, even with a Patton has less overall travel, but it has same travel on all travel range. This one don't has the same travel, and I think this is the problem. The progression here not working in the right way. So for me, or making the bigger travel, raising the travel abilities, but we know that we have these physical dimensions, and we cannot just rise somewhere to somewhere the shocks. So, or making the springs with a smaller one progression, just to the end, you know, when you're bouncing to the border of the wheel. But keep all the softness of the spring, keep the softness in the bigger range. This is my opinion, how I was, you know, understanding that in that wheel. So anyway, this is new one shocks, and I don't think I can, you know, put the springs from the Sherman S where I was like it, the suspension softness, you know, when you're going on the high speed and you still has all this room, you know, for play, all this softness, and the wheel going like the Cadillac, like the S-Class Mercedes, you know, like the Maybach and so on. Not like the sporty car when you know you're every jump and every this obstacle and you're hitting, you know. Don't like that. And overall conclusion, as I can see, the wheel just built for the hard off-road. For the jumpings, yes, this progression just perfect for the jumpings. All these pedals are in the high position for the off-roading, for the jumping, it is downhilling and so on. It is perfect. But if we are talking about the wheel for the, you know, mixed riding, and even, you know, compare how many wheels are sold in the Europe market and how many people are riding, so mostly clients riding normally and riding in the cities with a possibility to go off-road, but not riding always off-road with a possibility to go to the cities. It's not like that. So so looking from the side of the customers and from the customers' needs, I understand what this wheel are not exactly, you know, not exactly what the customers should get from the box, because not everybody need, you know, hard riding, you know, hard riding professional wheel for the casual riding, where he suffers the comfort, he suffers the, you know, high speed and stability and so on. So here I have moments here, and I'm really understanding what, as I said, from one side the LYNX are better wheel for me because of the batteries and 20-inch, because I'm liking to ride fast. But from another side, the pattern, I remember the pattern, and I was so excited about that wheel. Nothing to do from the box, first one, and second one, what this one was working, you know, and gives me the fun of the great power from zero, good responsibility, best responsibility I was feeling with a wheel, so easy to ride. And second one, what the suspension was soft, and I was able to go, you know, and get my pleasure of riding daily here, and in the speeds from the 0 till 50, 60 kilometers per hour and so on. So here, yes guys, and I think like the pattern is better here. So we don't have ideal wheels, I just wanted to share with my opinion about the LYNX. You don't think, you know, that the only LYNX are best of the best on the market. No, not like that, guys. Sorry, not like that. Sorry, I was disappointed you a little bit, but this is sad, but my opinion, and it seems like be, you know, true here about the wheel. Anyway, it is great one wheel, but has own moments, and I hope you understand what I was wanted to talk with you about that wheel. Second one review will be soon, and I bring here one for me demo unit Bigodi ET Max. And we was waiting for, not, you know, for the first batch, we wanted, you know, to wait for the Bigodi to be prepared to fix all that stuff, you know, and I don't know which batch we have now, but definitely not the first, not the second, and I think not the third now from the factories. We had the time, you know, to prepare to set, you know, good mass production. So I am receiving now a normal one, I hope normal one wheel, and I will try to make review in the next 2 weeks, I think, and share with you my opinion. So guys, stay tuned, and if you want to order the wheel in Europe, contact us in the description, link below, ucsale.com. Use your 5% discount coupon code. Like the YouTube channel member, just write us what you subscribe to my channel, and you will get 5% discount here, guys. So if you have any questions, just write me. See you guys soon. Denis Hagov, usesaleshop.com. Bye bye.